Okay, so we've covered Pythagorean theorem before, and we know that we already can do a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where a and b are the legs of that perfect right triangle. Okay, it only applies to right triangles. And c is always going to be that side of the triangle opposite of our right angle. Okay, so we apply that in lots of different formulas, or sorry, in lots of different problems. They'll give us maybe a leg and a leg, and we have to find the hypotenuse. Or maybe they'll give us one leg and the hypotenuse, and we have to find the other leg. So those are the kind of problems that we're really used to when we do the Pythagorean theorem. But this kind of problem is just a little bit different, okay? In this example, we only know one thing. So instead of knowing 2 out of 3 pieces of information and solving for that missing piece, A or B or C, now we only know one thing, okay? But there's also a trick. We do know that this is a perfect square with all equal sides. So that's really important. Perfect square with all equal sides. So if I have a squared plus b squared, that equals c squared, okay? So I can look at a perfect square and I can make it into a right triangle in my mind, right? A squared plus b squared equals c squared, it's still true. But now I only know my diagonal. That's my hypotenuse. So I know my c is 10. So I can plug that into my formula. But I don't know one or the other, but I know that they're the same amount. So what I need to do is say, instead of a squared plus b squared, I'm going to call them both a and a. So I have 2 of those. I have 2 a squareds, and you're allowed to multiply, right? When you have 2 of anything, 1 plus 1 is 2. So I have 2 a squareds equals c squared. Now I'll be able to solve because I only have a and c here, and I figured out what c was by looking at my picture. It was 10, right? So c squared is 10 squared. I have 2a squared equals 10 squared. So 2a squared equals 100. Divide away that 2 on both sides, you get 50. A squared equals 50. But we're not done yet, right? We can't just say, oh, that's a squared is going to be 25, right? A lot of students are tempted to just chop that in half. You have to use your calculator, and you have to find the square root of 50, not just dividing by 2. So the square root of 50 is going to be 7.07, and that's how you get just the length, one length of the side of your square. Okay, so then other squares or other problems might ask you to go further. They might say, okay, now that you know the side length, find the area filling my whole square, or maybe find the perimeter. Add up the edges of all the edges of our square, and you can solve to get all the information you need.